Oh, where do I start? um, I think my journey to start with into my 20s was probably a bit of a rocky one. I was someone who at school wasn't very academic, and I'm more of a creative type. I learned by doing. So I didn't really fit into the school education way of doing things. So I almost failed high school, and grew up thinking I wasn't very smart because of the way school teachers, I guess, and I just didn't fit into that way. I did excel in areas where it was very practical, which is the way I learn. And but I didn't realize that obviously until I was in my 20s. And I actually had, my parents went through a divorce when I was 17. So, and in my during my high school um, year 12 exams. So that was really great timing. um, but so from there, like, I guess like most people would have that support around them in terms of where to go, direction. I just didn't have that. I felt like I was quite on my own. And so when I left school, I had always been working since I was 13. I always had a job. I always went and made my own money. I was always taught that way because I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs as well. So I was very entrepreneurial minded very early on. And I actually like went out, got a job straight away, working in retail initially because I loved fashion. And it was really easy. And I'm really, like, I guess, good at sales and customer service. So I loved doing that job, and it was very social as well. Um, and then when so I went through some rocky stages. I got in with the wrong crowds. It was night clubbing, like doing all the wrong things for a couple of years until I sort of woke up and went, hey, this is not me. Like, I came from a good family, but it was just like not me. And thankfully, my mum introduced me to personal development in my when I was 22. And the first book I read was on The Secret, which is around the law of attraction, and your thoughts become things, and all of that sort of stuff. And so I was really open to that kind of way of thinking early on, and that actually got me really triggered into and interested into learning about business. And because I started attending workshops, because I was like, wow, like, it just gave me a new way of thinking and a perspective, something that I had never been taught at school. And I really liked that way of positive thinking because I had been through some negative experiences and challenges. And it really sort of sparked that interest into self-development, learning about business. And that really helped, I guess, set off my entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, and then I fell pregnant at 33 with my firstborn, and that's when I started Tech Ready Women. And so, for those of you who don't know what Tech Ready Women is, it's we run an education program that upskills women on how to build technology startups. It is also we pair them with mentors so that they get access to mentors and help them build their networks. And recently, we've been funded by the New South Wales government, which is amazing. So then we're able to offer scholarships for women to do the program. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those questions I get asked all the time because as women, I think especially, it's something that we just have to think about in our career journey, because you either go, I'm either going to take time out, or I keep going, and like, what am I going to do? And what, you don't really know until you have a child either, like what that's going to be like, because you don't know what kind of child you have. You don't know how difficult your pregnancy is going to be. And I experienced, because I've got two kids now, I experienced a really easy pregnancy with my first baby. The first 2 years I was launching Tech Ready Women 3 months after having um, my firstborn, Zach. And then, like, it took off. Like, Tech Ready Women was taking off. I had a team in place. It was like running events, 20 events a year. We had 1,000 women through these events and workshops over that, first probably like 2-year period. And we've been going for about 3.5 years now. And then I fell pregnant with Ava, my second one, and it just had the worst pregnancy. It was just so hard. I had to stop working. which was really hard. Like I think just the mental, for me, like feeling like I had to stop, which was really hard for someone who's just such a go-getter like myself to then, but it was sort of like the universe going, you need to focus on your health, you need to focus on the baby, and you need to slow down. And it was a really good wake up call to go back into having balance in my life, because I wasn't really balancing life. I was working, and even with a, firstborn, I was always working, and I worked 14-hour days, like easily, and weekends, and I didn't have that nice balance in practicing mindfulness and meditation and, well-being practices and yoga and exercise and eating healthy. Like, I just didn't have that balance. And then I spend time with, I don't work on the weekends now. Like, I really just try and turn, like, if I do, I try and do the inspirational stuff that makes me feel good. Yeah, it's just a practice. Like, when those thoughts come up, I say it's okay. It'll get done. Like, what's important is like, if you, and I think that's why it's important to prioritize your most important things get done, that is going to have the biggest impact in your work, and get that done in the morning. And then that if you don't get the other stuff done, it's okay. And it can wait till tomorrow. And I just tell myself it can wait till tomorrow, or I'll go to bed early, make sure I get enough sleep and my 8 hours sleep, and get up at 5:30 in the morning and do an hour. And rather than stay up till 11 o'clock at night to do that work, because it's just, then I'll just have the fatigue and my eye strain. And like, as you get older, listen to me, while you're in your 20s, because you don't have the problems now. But like, when you're in your late 30s, you're like, oh my God, my eyes hurt. Like, you just, like, things start falling apart, and then I'm like, oh damn it, I wish I looked after that better, because you don't realize until you actually get further down the track. And it's especially health is so important. I think it's surrounding, there's a couple of different things. It's like, don't feel like you know everything, and really take ownership in not knowing everything, and try and learn as much as possible. And so that's whether it's doing programs, whether it's upskilling in certain areas, whether it's, and then it's also getting access to mentors and people who have done it before, and like really listen to them. But the problem is with most entrepreneurs, they'll hear it. You get told stuff, but you just sometimes have to do it for yourself, or learn the hard way in order for it to stick. Because I've coached like so many and worked with so many entrepreneurs, and everyone's pretty much mostly the same. Like, some people do listen, but at first time entrepreneurs, sometimes you have to feel a bit of pain before you actually go, I know, okay, now I'm going to ask for help. And I think women in particular have a problem asking for help. So I didn't ask for help early enough. And because we feel like, I don't know, we have to be strong, or maybe we feel stupid asking a certain question. But the key to success and the key to getting more out of anything is asking questions. That's why I started Tech Ready Women, because there was nothing in the market that helped and supported women in particular, in a female only kind of cohort, that helped get into the industry. But the whole course, I designed it with other experts and entrepreneurs and product people and developers and people that have actually done it. And the workshops were taught by successful founders, and I really handpicked the right people who had actually done it. And that's key, is make sure that if you're going to take advice from someone, that they've actually done it. It took me a while, because I didn't have a very good money management in my my 20s. I was really good at making it, but then spending it. So, I mean, I think before you even, if you're going I mean, there's lots of different things when it comes to money management in general. I think really understanding and doing like little short courses to help you understand how to, do your tax return, and like all of that kind of stuff is so important. and manage your money and finances. I know there's some organizations, like if you're a woman, sorry guys, but if you're a woman, Ladies Finance Club, like they run little workshops all the time. They're really great. Like they show you how to, like, you know, turn little bits of money into bigger money. But if you're using it to start a startup and you're thinking, hey, like, how am I going to do this? You typically don't need a lot of money to start a startup or to validate even a startup idea. And it's a process. It's a long process. I think everyone thinks, hey, I'm just going to cover this idea and in a year's time it'll be it. But I think everyone has to realize that every entrepreneur's journey is different, and how long it takes somebody to become successful or have a successful venture is dependent on their own background experience, their networks, their access to capital, all of that kind of stuff. And it's really important not to compare your journey with anybody else's. I think before I give any more advice on money, I think it's really important too to not just be focused on making money. I think it's more important to think about the purpose and your own personal life mission. Oh, I love this one because it's actually happened the other day. I was at the launch of Tech Ready Women's new program the other day, and I had so many people come up to me afterwards, and then this is not what you do. You don't go up and pitch your idea straight away. Like, it is all about building rapport. It's about relationships. Go up to that person and say, I just admire you so much. I've looked up your profile. What you do is amazing. I would love to be able to follow you or connect with you on LinkedIn. Would you mind? You know, just do that. You don't need to sell them anything. Don't sell them anything on day one. Like, you know, unless they're like, hey, it's a pitch event, come and pitch me. But if it's not, and it's just meeting in that kind of setting, build the relationship first. And sometimes it will take a bit longer, like you know, but I think complimenting people, showing them that you take interest in their work, do something for them first, help build that relationship, because that will then make them remember you and you'll stand out. And I always connect with people on LinkedIn after I've met them at events, if they approach me in that way. Like, I mean, but I had a woman the other day come up and she was just pitched me the eye, and I was like, hold on a second. Like, it's like, you know, it's okay. Like, I'll listen, you know, but yeah, it was just too much. And I think it's about, at the end of the day, even investors, mentors, new business relationships, it's all about building the relationship first and figuring out how can I help them. You've got plenty of time. I think we go in and think that we don't have enough time to be able to achieve what we want, but we actually do. And I think when you're planning out your life and your career, you know, be really mindful of the things that you want to achieve, like set goals and step back and be able to, you know, one exercise that I find really valuable that helps me to go, am I on track? Am I feeling good? Like, am I happy? Like, actually got this couple of things, like something from Deepak Chopra, which is like the wheel of life. I always, every quarter, I check in. I'm like, where I give it a 1 to 10 in all areas of my life. I'm like, where am I like a 10? Where am I a 1? Where am I a 5? And then I know that's the area that I need to be focused on and put more attention on in order to feel a lot more balanced. So I think have daily practices in terms of mindfulness, set goals that are aligned with your personal mission and vision and values in life, because when you're doing those things, you will feel much happier. Yeah, can just reach out on LinkedIn. It's probably the easiest way, or through Tech Ready Women's website. More than happy to help.